All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today I'm back with another video here. Unfortunately, this is the first loss of the 2023-24 campaign for the Flyers. They lose 5-2 in Ottawa. Not the best game. It felt like this game was like a lot of the games last season, where it was not a lot of shots on net, bad second period, a lot of penalties, not scoring on the power play, etc., etc. Not the best game overall, but I think in this one there were some positives. Again, the main thing to keep in mind, it's only the second game of the season, so things obviously can change for better or for worse. They could definitely be worse than what they were today. They could be much better. Obviously, I think everybody knows that. I mean, they had 37 shots on net in game one in Columbus. Had a lot of chances on the power play. In really today's game as well, and they couldn't really get much going. Only 21 shots on net in this one. But the biggest thing today was the penalties in favor of Ottawa. 3 for 5 on the power play were the Senators. Face-offs were 61% for Ottawa, 38 for the Flyers. That was another key thing. And a lot of block shots for Ottawa if you're looking, obviously at the box score. But I think in this one, the biggest thing for me was just the second period and just the forced turnovers from the Senators. A lot of plays where they got in, they won more puck battles than the Flyers down low. The biggest teller of this game was that period, and just the sense that the Flyers had the 4-on-3 to start, didn't really do much with it. Then they go into the rest of the period and they don't have a shot for 14, 15 minutes or so. And you're just sitting there like, now what? And you're trying to find an answer. You're trying to find something. And, they did switch up the lines a little bit. It'll be interesting if the lines go back to what they were or if they stay similar to that. But we'll see. It'll be interesting because I think there's a lot of different things that can kind of change with that, and especially with the lineup, because you saw throughout the game that Torts was trying different things. From the start of the game, it was Farabee, Couturier, Forrester, Tippett, Frost, Atkinson, Lawton, Cates, Konechny, Delorier, Paling, and Hathaway. And then as the game was going on and you go to the second period, it ended up being Lawton with Cates and Atkinson, Coots with Tippett and Forrester, and then Frost with Konechny and Farabee. So they ended up switching that up. Obviously, the fourth line stays the same. The only changes from Columbus to Ottawa in the actual starting lineup was Brink and Zamula came out and Forrester and Andre came in. So Andre made his NHL debut, who obviously not the best team game for Andre in his debut, right? But I still thought he made some good plays, and I think there were times where you saw the plays that Andre can make, the jumping up into the play, good exits, really good passer, good skater. I think he definitely has some balls. He had that hit on Tarasenko in the first period as well. He's good at getting shots through the net as well. So, it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens. That obviously was probably pre-planned that those guys were going to end up coming in, and Brink and Z were going to come out. So when you look at this one, it's not the best game overall, but in the first period it starts and Ottawa gets two quick ones, both from Chychrun. Scores from the point. It was a turnover in front. Tough play. Walker had a nice play to keep the puck in for the Flyers, had a chance for Farabee down low. And then there's a penalty here, which the refs were, I guess, different today. There was, I guess that's probably the best way for me to put it. There was a lot of weird calls. The first one was a boarding on Coots. Chychrun would score, and I think it was such a nice play by Tarasenko, because the biggest thing in the power play and in any power play is utilizing the open ice, and Tarasenko did that very easily. Skates to the middle, finds Chychrun, perfect shot. I mean, it looked like it might have deflected. It could have been a knuckle puck. I'm not too sure, but beautiful shot regardless. And Ottawa has a 2-0 lead. Then they get another power play. It was a trip and call on Sealer. Yes, it was a trip, right? I mean, it definitely was a trip, but it was a late call. He ended up going down, and then it just It's just so frustrating when I thought the Flyers had a decent start. I mean, it was 1-0, but they did have a couple of chances after that. Then they get the 2 penalties, and it took the flow out of the game. Then the Flyers, they get a couple power plays of their own. A power play here, it was a hook that was drawn by York. Then they get a 5-on-3. It was a holding the stick on Drew. Well, also that was drawn by York. So York draws 2 penalties, and Konechny gets his 3rd goal of the season on the power play. Beautiful play. They used that setup a little bit in the 5-on-3 that they had in the preseason there. They were able to get the separation from moving the puck around, and from Forrester being able to kind of just unload and then Konechny end up scoring there. Just a beautiful play overall, all around. And Konechny gets his 3rd of the season on a slam dunk in front. Flyers get a 4-on-3 penalty carried over into the 2nd period for 1 minute and 47. They passed into traffic 4 times. Like it wasn't like they were doing anything that was it wasn't like they were doing anything that was like a smart pass. It was like they knew the traffic was there and they were still sending it to that area. Like I just did not understand what was going on there. It just couldn't get anything going. And then Hart had a nice save on Tarasenko, and then it was all Ottawa for this period. Giroux had a chance off the rush. They won multiple battles, shots from the point. Zub had a couple from the point. Like it was just Flyers were losing so many battles down low that it was just killing the any momentum. And for like 14, 15-ish minutes, something like that, Flyers didn't do much, and they didn't have any shots on net. Ottawa ended up making it 3-1. And like the Flyers, they had chances. Like Ottawa gets a power play, let me start before that. They get a 2-on-1. Frost misses a shot wide off a pass from Konechny. So they go 12 minutes without a shot. Another 2 minutes later, Sealer drops the gloves. There's a fight, and then the Flyers get a 2-on-1 with I believe it was Forrester and Frost. Forrester skates up. He doesn't have a lane, turns it over, 3-on-1 the other way. He takes a slashing penalty, and then Sanderson scores on a bullet one-timer. It's like it just couldn't have went any wrong today in that period, and you're just like, oh my God. Then the Flyers answer right back. That was the craziest thing about it. Cam York gets his 1st of the season. It was a beautiful play. Nice tip by Konechny. They gave it to Walker, who I believe doesn't get a point on this, so I don't know if that'll get changed or not. But Konechny was the one who tipped it on the wall. So Konechny should have had a goal and an assist, but Walker technically, officially in the game on the stat sheet, he has his 1st NHL point. And then 4-2. It was blown coverage. Sanheim with a turnover. Tkachuk scores in the slot with 5 seconds left, and this game was over at that point. 4-4 to start the period. 5-2 slam dunk in front for Tkachuk, his 2nd of the game. And that was pretty much it for this one. I mean, just a lot of sloppiness, a lot of the similar issues from last season in the 2nd period. I mean, it's like you can't go from a decent 1st period to having a start of basically a full power play on a clean sheet of ice to then not having any momentum in over 12 minutes without a shot on goal or whatever the official number was. So not ideal, obviously. Again, the best thing is that A, it's very early in the season. You can watch this one down, and B, you return home now. So you go in, you're home on Tuesday night for the home opener against Vancouver. That should be a good one. Thanks everybody again for all the support as always. The channel's been kind of doing pretty good recently with the subscribers and everything. The numbers have been going up, so thank you all for that. And also the watch parties have been a lot of fun. The Flyers warm up, all of it. It's been a lot of fun. So 80 more games to go. We'll kind of see what happens as the season goes along. Thanks everybody again, as always, and I'll talk to you all again soon.